There you go. So do you want us to start from the top, or do you want to start with what we've improved from the midterm?
No, you do your presentation as you will do.
All right, so our game is all about customization. So you see the ship builder over here. You get a full 360-degree view of your ship. Go ahead and start switching parts around, Arnold. We can change our chassis, which are the main body of the ship, which holds kind of the chassis for everything else. So Arnold, why don't you go switch to the Arctic Cobra, and then we're going to pick our core. Pick the turret core, maybe. Turret ones. We're going to pick a turret core that summons turrets as its overload ability, which is kind of that special ultimate ability that every ship can have. We're going to go ahead and pick some wings real quick. We're also going to select which ones. Okay, so these wings provide a great deal of control to your ship. And then go ahead and switch over to weapons, and let's see which one would work. Alright, we'll go with the Lesky Lasmak, which is a kind of machine gun kind of weapon. And then finally we're going to switch our engine. So which one? Let's do the blinking one. So as an homage to last year, we have an engine that teleports you. So
cool.
So it's called the Blink engine. So we're going to save ship, and we're going to have to launch with the client. So you can see here on our ship selection screen, you actually can pick, go ahead and mouse over the other loadouts and click on them, I guess. So you can show your selected configuration, which you have equipped right now. And on the bottom is the new loadout that you customized, and you can save the 5 custom ones, and we have 5 default ones. And these are all kind of set up so that you can kind of switch on the fly whenever you die. So we'll have to go ahead and pick that one, and you can spawn in right now. So over here you can see this is where the Earth side spawns. It's Earth versus Mars. You can see the ship debris on the Earth side because it's all about kind of being a ship graveyard. We've got animation going on these capture points, which looks pretty cool. And Arnold says capture this point over now, so there's a little blue flag hanging over it. And you can see our mini-map is actually functional, so you can actually see the points that have been captured, what colors they are. You can see an enemy player, somebody on Arnold's team has a flag and he's returning it to his base. Or maybe he's lost and not returning it to his base. But, you know, he is. We've got these little pointers on the map to help players figure out where the control points are. By demo day, we're going to have a backing on the mini-map so you can see the walls and everything. You can see players in here shooting each other. These are guys on red team right now. Arnold just lost a wing because he is bad at dodging things. This is the main capture point which players fight over. You can notice there's a huge giant capture point halo on it. It's been captured by red right now, as you can notice by the red flag. There's 3 red guys.
Not very obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, flag color is going to be bigger.
That is going to be fixed. There used to be lighting on it, but for some reason it broke.
What if you just change the capture sign to red?
Yeah, that's also great. We were thinking about that as well, so we're definitely going to experiment with some options during this last week. Somebody has died. So when you die, you can change your configuration. So maybe switch to another configuration.
Let's go with.
You want to go with the detonator? All right. So Arnold is now the detonator configuration, which is kind of slow, but it's kind of this very bulky ship. It can summon turrets using its overload ability. It'll summon turrets that fire at enemy players. There's no enemies right now, so it's not firing at them. You can see chat's also working. We've got heat overload, and you can see the abilities in the bottom right. Arnold's limping his way back to the fight because this is a very slow chassis.
That is way right.
I think everybody just died. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there's one. So Arnold just blew that guy up really quickly.
He just turned invisible.
And you can see there's the score on the top. We're going to make that a little bit more readable for demo day because we believe the blue is a little bit too dark. But you can see that the blue side is winning right now. So the way scoring works is the more points that you currently have captured, the faster your number ticks up. Returning a flag will give you a larger boost of points. While you're holding that flag, you actually cannot use your abilities, so you have to kind of get an escort back. So you can't just grab the flag and dash away. We're making some players have to work together as a team to return that flag to their spawn base.
Is that new?
Yes, it is. And then you can also notice we have some visual updates as well. We're using a Sobel shader right now. And then, which kind of outlines everything, changes the toon ramp, and makes everything kind of brighter. So if you guys notice kind of like things look a little bit more cohesive from last week, that's one of our bigger changes. Arnold right now is, both his wings are kind of low on health, so they're blinking yellow. He's making his way slowly. He can see an enemy below him on the mini-map. There's a wall in the way.
I'm going to go above instead.
Yeah, so he's going to go above instead. And now he's slow.
There was a guy here. He's gone now.
I don't know how many people are on there.
4 or 5.
You can check the. Oh wait.
These guys probably have a number.
So there is a known bug where if you try to view your score too many times, you will crash. But that will get fixed. That will be fixed by demo day. We have figured out what it is.
I mean, even if it doesn't bring up the score, at least don't try.
Yeah, just
And one more thing, maybe you could highlight your player, because when there are like so many other ships around for demo purposes.
to kind of like outline it
There's
and
going
like
to be a light, hopefully, on your
we're gonna do like kind of the hero lighting where your character is always lit despite everything around it being dark. It might not be realistic, but it'll kind of serve to actually make it obvious. So a big thing we've been going with from your guys' feedback from the midterm and last week is making this game feel more, I guess, obvious, because there's a lot of information that comes with this kind of game with all the customization and the map and multiplayer. So we put these halos around everything. Arnold has just grabbed a flag. You can see a giant thing has popped up on the screen telling him to go back to spawn.
Oh, cool.
So he's running back right now. His teammate in the back is escorting him. There's a guy over there.
When's
So,
the last time you guys have done outside testing for this?
we did one yesterday when USC Wi-Fi was all down. But,
Are people having any complaints about the terrain, not knowing what they can and can't fly over?
we actually didn't get that many complaints about that. The main complaint was that
Because
ships.
like, I'm super confused, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Some
things
is
like
not
that.
sticking out enough.
Like that box right there,
Yep.
the rectangle.
You get stuck.
Yeah, see?
But that one is just as bright, so it looks like it could potentially trap you.
Yeah. So we have the, if you can see the grid kind of being illuminated around your ship,
Yeah.
we're maybe going to make that a little bit brighter so it intersects with the objects a little bit more, or maybe
You
even,
can see where it meshes.
maybe all the objects will actually have something emanating on the grid that you can actually see where
Maybe
their
just
meshes
have a
are.
collision to show that.
Yeah,
it's-
Arnold is really screwed now. He's lost his engine and one of his wings, and now he's dead.
You can recover from that.
Yeah. So right now, blue side is still winning because Arnold's playing on her team, obviously.
Can we get a better player, please?
And there's no way to regenerate. You know, it's not like
currently.
you don't return to your home base and regenerate. You play till you die, then you get another loadout.
Thought about implementing a medic ship?
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
stuff
we have a
with
medic
healing
ship.
abilities, and we're torn about how to handle them. Like, should they regenerate parts? Should they not regenerate parts? Should they just heal health on the chassis?
You want to black hole that
Should they heal
guy?
everything?
Yeah, I mean your
Yeah.
respawn time is fast. And it's not really a big punishment.
No, and it really hasn't been tweaked yet. You know, we're just starting to get into figuring out what the point values, everything should be.
So Arnold just sees a black hole up here sucking in enemy ships.
Are any of the locations like really far away from spawn that would make it an added bonus for a character that had healing regenerator properties because you wouldn't want to die since you have to have such a backtrack?
The main
So
capture point is really far away, and so is because there's 3 capture points. There's one auxiliary one on each side, and then there's one main one. If you're trying to capture all 3, that main one takes a while to get back to, and it's closer to the enemy spawn. So having some kind of like mobile healing station out there would be really good for you.
If you want to play, like, we've already seen people picking up roles with these. For example, the ship Arnold is playing now. A lot of people like to take this ship and I think defend one of the smaller capture points because it's a choke point. You can only get it through a small area, and this ship can block that point, and then you can have other ships fighting from behind it, not getting hit. So already we're starting to see people try and
Pushing
figure
in more
out
gameplay
where
as a
to.
team.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of 2 to 3 player groups. So we did our play test yesterday. We had 6-on-6. People were mostly roaming around in groups of 2s and 3s, attacking and defending capture points, or trying to get the flag and get back to their base. Usually people prefer to make the capture point near their base first, and then proceed to the middle capture point, which is kind of what we intended for most of the fighting to be there, and then the small capture points only to be if one team is overwhelmingly winning.
Are these tactics extrapolated from looking at things like League of Legends, etc.?
Yeah,
So that's a very
that's
North
where we're
America
trying to
League of
take the
Legends
map and
strategy
the objective
versus
strategy
a
from
Korean strategy.
with a
via
more
Rush.
arcade gameplay feel to it, since we want that more actiony feel instead of that more
you follow League of Legends,
RTS,
guys?
slow action.
I just
RPG
learned
feel.
about it.
And then also in addition to what
Oh,
first
that means
play
Activision is going to start their own MOBA.
I don't work at that.
You analyzed it kind of?
Yeah, because we have
got 'em on tape.
the spectator mode that runs, and this just runs, flips through ships. This is actually running on the client right now, so it's a little buggier, but it makes it really easy to record a playtest. We can just pop it up, and you can control who it's watching if you want to follow the action, and it has toggleable zoom, so you can kind of just pan it backwards a far distance and see what everybody on the map is doing at once.
Yeah, I
What are
mean,
the big concerns? What are the big goals and the big concerns for next semester?
well, I guess I can go through this in 2 steps. Our big switch for the first demo day is to make the game feel much more tight to play when you first pick it up, is because we know that these industry members are going to be playing for the game like 10 minutes max and they're going to be moving on to something else, or they would like to talk about something else. So we're going to make it so when you pick it up and you sit down and play it, you kind of get into it very quickly. So we're going to tighten up.
Excessive.
Yeah, so we're going to tighten up the controls a little bit. So Arnold has been playing this game for a long time, so he knows how to kind of fly around on the plot. So but for a newer player, there's kind of a drift mechanic in there that a lot of players didn't find appealing. So we're actually going to get rid of that for demo day, just to kind of make it feel more like precision based. For next semester is all about polish. So we're kind of at a really great spot right now where we can spend another half year polishing this. So that'd be getting the controls tighter, balancing all these parts. And getting in maybe a couple of new parts, and just making sure that every part feels unique and feels like it has its own play strategy with it. And additionally, we're going to put objectives and more power-ups in the map. So you could right now we have a power-up already working. It's not in this build, but you can pick it up. You'll temporarily go faster after picking it up. So putting up these power-ups and just more points for players to fight over. And just all about balance tuning and polishing, because we've actually made a lot of progress on networking, and David wants to talk about that.
Yeah, let me talk about the tech side of things a little bit. So networking, as you can see, we're playing right now on the ISI server again in Marina del Rey. We average about a 40 ping to there from USC. Can't really notice much lag playing on these wired machines. We get it a little bit on the wireless, but it's to the point where it's tolerable, and our scalability is fine. We can hit 8-on-8 players, and the server can handle it. The client machines can handle it if they're on at least moderate broadband, and everything seems to be running fine for the networking end. So we've been wrapping up feature implementation. You'll notice there's a lot of new features, everything from this little HUD display that we have going now, to mini-map, to descriptive tooltips. The descriptions aren't in here yet. I'll drop back into the ship editor in a bit and show you some of the stuff there. We've also been building out this whole objective system to actually turn it from a prototype that we kind of had at midterm into the game that we have now, where you see we have half a dozen people on there just playing away, messing around, trying to get this going as much as possible, trying to give the designers easy way so that they can tweak this, go back in and change stats. So one of the things I'll mention is our core mechanic tool. We've been using an outside tool built in C# that allows us to program the stats for all the parts on all the ships, and changing them is as easy as going in on the client and the server and switching those numbers and then restarting the game. And you can immediately see the changes it makes. Networking doesn't even come to play with changing those statistics. It's all broken out from the Unreal script. Nice and easy. Other things you'll notice since midterm, the abilities are now tied to parts now, and we actually do have most of the range of abilities implemented. I think we had around 20 as the target for demo day, and we have about 18 of those working right now. You've seen everything from regular bullets to special bullets that do things like travel far and explode, dropping turrets, spawning things. We have a power-up system, they're just not in the map yet. Just trying to make the abilities as flexible as possible, so once again in the second semester we can go in and just do whatever we want with them and build a game around it. We tried to get a nice vertical slice for this. So
Can you play more agile shit?
So our aggro ship?
Agile.
Oh, agile. You want to do one with the Cobra?
We have the overloads built in, which are like all I saw before. Arnold dropped the turrets, which are incredibly powerful.
So this ship can blink, and it has its weapon has an ability where if it hits a part, it does I believe 50% more damage, but if it hits a chassis, it does 50% less. This weapon encourages you to kind of aim for those parts and break them off.
The space becomes the blink for this one, or?
Yeah. So basically your dash is replaced by that blink. Every engine has a different kind of dash that you can use.
The blink is a huge advantage here because, as you would imagine with a teleport, you can hop over objects or through objects that would otherwise block you. So that is the advantage he's going to get.
Can you dodge?
The disadvantage is it's a very frail engine. It gets shot off much more easily.
He just lost his
engine. He's already lost it.
Now you can't blink anymore.
Now he's just pretty much sitting up because he can't do much. You'll notice the blink is actually redded out in the UI there to show that you can no longer use it.
So don't underestimate the demo side of this, like prepare an exhaustive script as to like who the other multiplayer players are going to be,
Yeah.
when they're going to come where, with what kind of ships, what abilities they're going to show first.
Yeah.
So there should be like no surprises for you, and then you can have a free for all at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got about 5-6 minutes left. So, do you want to load up? Did you want to show stuff in the ship
Let me
editor?
drop back in the ship editor.
Yeah, you want to do that here, or do we need to?
No, we can do it on this one.
Okay,
We're
great.
gonna do this. Just exit out.
Information is another key thing we're looking at with engineering. There's a lot of stuff for a new player to process in this game about what they should do, what they can do, and what they want to do. So the ship editor is a good place to start. You'll notice we now have descriptive tooltips for every single part in the game currently. These are attached via our core mechanic tool that I was talking about before. So all designers have to do is open that up, find the name of the part, add the description they want to it, and it pops into these tooltips. Eventually we'll be adding the abilities that the parts contain onto them. That's in the pipeline right now. I'm just trying to give players an idea of what they're choosing, what it's going to let them do, and what we expect them to use it for. Is this an offensive piece, a defensive piece? We have a nice view in the ship editor now. You can see all the pretty art in the ship editor. Get a nice view of the numbers in here. I think this is one of the nicer looking pieces of UI right now. This and the ship selection screen that you saw before in game when you're spawning, where you pick between the ships that you save. Also, this goes with the multiple ship selection. So if you notice at the bottom, it says Frankenstein there. Those go with the names of the ships that we provided to the player to choose from their list.
So you can actually read
Make your own here and add to the list if you don't want to replace the default ones. But yeah, we've basically wrangled up this whole part system from both the engineering and the design side and figured out a nice constructor for it, how to carry it into the game, how to give players choices. You saw most of the information in the game relating to the mini-map, the projected textures like that. Another big thing, pointing players in the right direction towards objectives, telling them when they're headed objective even. Looking for new ways to help get information across without cluttering up the UI, because minimizing UI space is big for us since it's already hard to see things. What else are we working on? Design for controls. We're still heavily iterating on the controls, balance and cooldowns. All the cooldowns and damage you see in here, a lot of that hasn't been iterated over very many times.
Has there been an attempt to make the game just as strong with a single player?
There are smaller maps. We're going to go back in